I am number one, not number two. If I'm not the one, I'm uncomfortable. See the competition I've been running through. Leveled up, I only see him in my rear view. Switch. Yeah, I'm ballin'.
Starting the day with a little bit of Coop's caffeine.
I got hair on my tongue. Ugh.
Dude,
What?
dude, I had a little hair in my coffee right there.
You had a little hair in your coffee?
Mm.
Wow.
Pull it out, though.
Wow.
I was like,
Should we call the Bad Business Bureau and
Wow,
report
dude.
him? I mean, the company's not even officially launched yet. You already want to complain?
You work there.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
It's probably your hair. Look at all these. Look at all
it's
that.
probably my mustache, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
We're in the midst of getting our coffee truck going. My wife and I are starting Coop's Coffee.
Mhm.
Alex has been a huge part of helping us get this thing built and just like getting it over the goal line. And he's obviously going to help work it, and he is already dogging it, dude, right off the bat.
Right off the bat. Yeah, every good company needs haters, right? Even if that hater is the first employee.
And inside of the
Inside of the company, yeah. I guess,
Insider,
yeah.
You gotta work on that shit, Alex.
Work on my support.
Oh God, but I mean, we talk a lot about how to like make extra money during slow season. You know, as filmmakers, you're kind of on, you're kind of off. It's not always a constant flow, and so like, that's pretty badass that you've like put all your like energy and resources into this like coffee truck. Like I've seen you work on this and like literally like blood, sweat, and tears to make this shit happen, bro. So like, I'm proud of you, bro. I'll freaking
Hell yeah, dude.
coffee cheers to that.
Cheers. Hopefully it does something and takes off, and it'll be interesting. You know, we talk about slow times in the film industry all the time. Obviously in Utah it's a hit or miss with the strikes. You know, it makes you think it's probably smart to have some other means of income. You know, it's kind of a hit and miss, because I would say arguably there's always videographer work.
Yeah.
Maybe not like filmmaking work, and maybe, you know, there's only 1 or 2 movies that come to town at a time, but there is always videographer work. And what I mean by that is like, you can always work with brands, you can always work with influencers, you can always, everyone needs marketable content, whether that's photos, commercials, 15-second content. Like there's always an avenue. But I like have a give and take with that. I kind of get burnt out on that sometimes. And so I think that's where the coffee truck really came into play too, because when you're on set, you know, 15 hours a day for a month long, and then the last thing you want to do is like come home and like go take a bunch of photos for influencers. At least in my case, right?
Absolutely.
So that's kind of where it was like, I need something outside of a camera to like make some money, so I can still keep my like full passion with a camera when I'm working with it.
Dude, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's like kind of where the Coop's Coffee, and my wife, like being that we just had a baby, she doesn't want to go right back into working full time, and so this was like a fun thing we could do for the next little bit that like still brings an income.
Yeah, dude, because like I've been trying really hard to find like creative ways to make money with a camera, and like yeah, you'll find that list kind of runs out quicker than you'd expect. You know, like I was listening to this other video and he's talking about how like stores used to have like jewelry stores or whatever, they used to have to exist as brick and mortar as the only way to show off the inventory for the ring so that you knew what was available. Well, like we live in a completely digital age, and so like that model is gone. And so like websites, every business that needs to list, you know, their rings or whatever inventory, like they need good high quality colored photos to show off their stuff. This is like whatever, like helping people build like guides to their like real estate tours, or how to do like an intro, like a crash video on their website that shows everything they're about. Like there is necessarily like a lot more ways when you think about it, instead of just social media, instead of just YouTube, when we make a couple reels for these guys.
I mean, let's talk about a few though. Like, 'cause people are like, okay, how? I'm a kid who wants to make money. I have a camera. How do I go make money? Few things I would do, and I mean, this is the secret sauce that got Scooter from like 19 years old to like 23, jumping out to LA and like doing a bunch of things. This is how I like bought groceries and like put a roof over my head. And I think I've talked about it, but I would stand outside of acting workshops. And these are young actors that are trying to learn how to become actors and get into the industry and want to meet people. I would literally in LA stand outside of workshops of acting classes, and I would offer headshots. And so I would have a little sign that showed my work, and I'd be like $50 or $100 headshots, 2-hour turnaround. And I'd have my laptop right there. We'd go to a corner, one key light or even just a bounce, a few photos on a 70 to 200, give them the photos right there, airdrop them. Now as an actor, you have brand new headshots that day. And they just came out of acting class, so they're all done up and everything.
They're all hyped up and ready to like put energy into their career, and they're already looking good.
And so I would do that, and I could make $1,000 a day doing that pretty easy by just getting 10 people to do headshots, and so stuff like that where you can really milk it. Another thing I would do would I'd go to office buildings and I'd go to the front desk and I'd hand them flyers to drop off at all the different businesses, and then in those flyers I would put new headshots for your business or in your building at a discounted rate, and then I would normally one floor would have an open area where you could set up like a headshot studio. We bring a white backdrop, bring a few lights, and then all the different businesses, you can sell hundreds of headshots within one day right there, and normally the company will pay for it. So the business will go, oh, I can have brand new headshots for my website for all my employees, and they don't have to pay for it. Something I can give them, and next thing you know,
it takes 10 minutes out of the employee's day instead of literally wasting like hours of their corporate time that they're like paid for.
So they just walk downstairs, take a headshot, go right back to their desk.
Dude,
and
cool.
So I would and that's what gave me the idea is school pictures. So stuff like that I would sell. I mean, and I still like to do that kind of stuff, but again, that kind of goes with getting burnt out, right? Because you're going door to door, kind of selling yourself. But if I had to, and if I did not have any work and like I needed to go make money, that's probably what I'd lean back onto, something more in that direction.
Yeah, that's super clever. I feel like one of the ways that I found clientele when I was like just really, really beginning is I would go to open mic nights.
Oh, yeah?
I would go to where lots of musicians are gathering, and usually it would, like, some of these things that were happening, shout out DK Mixes, he was, like, the main guy that was, like, kind of sponsoring this in Provo, is it would basically be a session where everyone that came could take, like, 5 minutes and show, like, a song off. And, like, talk about it, or, like, a music video, or, like, whatever they had. And everyone just kind of, like, took turns, like, appreciating what the other person did. And then at the end of it, it was just, like cypher, open mic, freestyle session. And everyone would go in a circle and, like, say their thing. It was super dope, and so I would like really try to get myself into as many of those as I could, and I found probably like 7 or 8 musicians to work with through those. And so, and obviously you know how it goes, where like word of mouth is probably the most powerful tool, right? So you do a really good job on one video, and then someone else that didn't even come to that event but is homies with that guy saw that video, and then he DM'd you. You know, it's like good work can kind of continue to bring you good work. If you impress the right people, they will bring you those clients. You don't necessarily, it's like this domino effect that happens, but you do have to do a lot of upfront marketing. You do have to do a lot of hustle. It's not like a magic effect. It's literally hustle. That's what the secret ingredient is.
Yeah, I'd say something that came to mind too would be concerts. I would look up like local concerts, or if a bigger artist was coming into town and there were some people opening up for them, I would reach out first and foremost to when I was starting out, to the openers. And once I got to the place where the main artist was hiring me, it was a lot easier to do this. But like a great example would be like if Kasky or like the Lil Xan stuff that I would do, when they would come into town, they would hire me to shoot their set. So right then, boom, there's a job, $500 for your set. And then each opening artist, which normally there's 4 to 6 opening artists ish, I would charge $150 to film their set. They're opening for a big artist. That $150 is nothing to them to document that moment for their Instagram and everything else. So you have a 3-hour concert with these openers that are only doing 4 or 5 songs, $150 per opener. There's $500 there. There's $500 for your opening, or for your main artist. There's your $1,000 for the night. Now, I didn't love that because there's a lot of post-production that came with it. And you're just sitting there editing for a while. So that was kind of more when I was starting out. I don't love doing that kind of stuff now. But like for the bread and butter, those are things like just getting yourself out there and networking is, is
and
a quick way.
One thing I even thought about, say you're like just a little bit more of a clever salesman than Scooter and I, which is tough because we're smart. What if you just happen to give like one of the bands was like $250 instead of $150? Well, you know what you can do with $250? You can pay an assistant editor to sort through like 95% of your footage and pick out all the bad parts and just give you a timeline of all the good parts. And now you've bought back your time. All you have to do is finish it with some sauce.
The
and,
numbers
like,
I was saying too are like kind of lower. Like
sure.
I would say if you're working with like a bigger artist, you know, you're at least 500 to 1,000.
Oh, sure.
And then these smaller artists, you know, you're at least, you know, 200 to 400 per set, maybe $100 a song kind of thing.
Depends on where you're local to.
And what they want for the post-production. If they want a lot, charge a little bit more. But you can easily make $1,000 to $3,000 in a night, or $1,000 to $3,000 in a day working, doing headshots, whatever that may be. So the money is out there. Like, I don't think you have your hands tied in this market to like, you have to do this and like that kind of thing. If you have a camera, there's so much ways to make money. I just found that over the years and doing that for 10 plus years, I get a little burnt out chasing the paycheck when like the film work isn't here.
No, I agree. And I feel like there's sometimes becomes this tendency where people have their niche in the market, right? People are like, I'm a wedding videographer, I'm an engagement photographer, I'm a tabletop product videographer. And so sometimes people feel like if you have that type of work, only that niched creator should work in that space. I just don't buy that. There's enough weddings going on in Utah that I can shoot an engagement if I want to shoot an engagement. There's enough concerts going on that I don't have to dedicate myself to being the concert guy. Like, I can pick up what I want to pick up.
I would
you know
argue
what I mean?
that what you're talking about is videographer work, right?
Sure.
And if you're a videographer, I'm going to say the same as like a filmmaker and a DP, right? If you're a DP, you should be able to know how to work all the cameras on the market.
Totally.
Not just your camera that you own or that cinema body, right?
Right.
You should know all the different sensors, all the different lights. You should have that
the
whole
settings.
full circle of knowledge. I believe the same as a videographer. If you're somebody who can only do weddings or you can only do this, now that may be your niche and you may be really good at it, but I believe a strong videographer you could put in any environment. And I would argue this, like, Dakota is a strong videographer. There has been multiple jobs. One we are doing for was it Jack in the Box? For Jack in the Box, doing some for grand opening commercial work or something. And we had another job where I was on a movie. Something came up where I overbooked.
Yeah, we were on a movie. We were in the middle. We were up in the middle of the mountains, bro.
Yeah, I was in the middle of the mountains, and the client called me and was asking where I'm at.
Okay, so I'll see you in 5 minutes, right?
And so I called Dakota because he's a strong videographer, and I said, grab your package, go to this location. They need a 30-second video and some photos.
And it was day and night.
Day and night.
You wanted me to come back, yeah.
Yeah, and
come
I
day, come
knew
back at night.
Dakota, as a strong videographer, could handle the job. I knew when I said grab your kit, I knew he was going to grab a drone, some type of cool camera, like a 360 camera, and then his like more cinema camera to get those shots, and slash photo camera. I knew, like, as a strong videographer, he has a package that he would bring. And that YouTube world. So then, yeah, he went and he pulled it off and did everything, and everything worked out great.
Yeah.
Client was happy. And so what I'm getting at with that is being a strong videographer, whether that was a wedding or whether that was a corporate video for a restaurant or whether
live event.
a live event, to be able to like just say, hey, grab your kit and go document and know that you had all the tools A to Z to like make that happen. That's what a videographer is. Just like a DP as a filmmaker is like, you producers hire them. This is the camera. I mean, most of the time the DP has like the choice, right? But like, this is the camera you're given. Maybe there's restrictions on what you can get in town or where you're at in the rental. But it's like, here's your camera. These are the lenses. You should be able to know how to like document that in any way, right? So. Yeah, I think if you're a videographer putting yourself in a lane, you're probably not doing yourself any good. But I also agree with if you're a videographer and like all you do is weddings, you may book more work because your niche is weddings and that's what you're known for. So now you're 20 weddings a year. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's sixes.
That's
So
good.
many ways to skin the cat in this world. That's why I hate about how people say you have to do it this way. Because no, it's like, this is film, baby, and we got in it because we're artists. And that's like, be artistic about it. Go
Right.
be artistic how you want to make money. Like if you're a sorry, I'm rambling right now, but if you're a painter and like no one's gonna say like you have to paint on this canvas and sell this canvas at this studio.
Yeah, if you don't do oil on canvas, like you're not a real
That's
painter.
not how it
Like,
works. Yeah, and I think I need to remind myself sometimes like in this world is like your canvas could be anything. It could be a side of a wall at a store. It could be a table, or it could be a canvas, and you're like putting your art out there. And so I think we need to remind ourselves, or maybe I just need to remind myself. But yeah, like we have some shit in our back pocket as like content creators.
Yeah. Dude, I've been thinking about this analogy for a while, and I like quite haven't had exactly the words to describe it. So we'll see if I totally stumble all over this. Do you feel like the camera is like the modern day sword? Like if you look at like the samurai and like the Ronin and like people that like they were sword for hires, right? And like there were some people that like belonged to the royal organizations and used that sword to like protect people, whatever. Or you can think of like studios, people that like they're kind of built into these organizations, whatever. And then there's like freelancers where it's like you kind of have to like you're a sword for hire or whatever. Like I don't know, whatever. Like you think of like knights and they have like squires or like camera operators and assistant camera operators. Like to me, there's like this. Like, I haven't exactly had the words to like all lay it out, but there's like this parallel between.
I see
like,
where you're coming from.
Yeah, right. There's something there.
I don't know. I think the thing that I was kind of grabbing on as you were explaining that would be people. The main thing that you would do back then is you were either crafting swords, you were a swordsman, you would be protecting the area you're in. Like 90% of humans in that time would have some sort of like battlecraft with a sword, right? And now I would say 90% of people have some way of documenting social media.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of sad as a society that we've kind of come to that as like our modern, like to your point, if you were a really good swordsman and you like were really good, you were probably a knight or like royal. You were in
You protected the emperor or something.
You were in a nicer place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now, if you're really good with camera, you have a big following and you're probably wealthy and you're probably doing things that you want to do behind a camera.
I see it more now.
So like,
Yeah, there's a parallel there.
At first, I was like, no, no, I'm getting it.
it's I guess that's kind of where I was going with it, but it kind of makes me sad as a person who's in social media and in content creation that we have almost relied on that. That's people's identity. That's now like the biggest thing. I don't like that. Like I don't like that it almost something is a false narrative and we're putting that out there as like our faces.
Yeah, you almost like we'll talk about something like, oh yeah, so and so with 3 million followers on this and this.
I don't.
If it's like what is that? What is that like a surname? What is that title we're just slapping onto someone?
Yeah.
This amount of people, clicked like on his page, so all of a sudden there's this inherent value built into that person. Like
I guess it's
that's not the true
because-
value.
Since Instagram began, dude. Like, so like even when I first had Instagram, when it first came out, I remember I had like one Instagram, dude. It had like, I think it was like 13,000 followers when I was in like 7th grade.
Whoa.
And it was like memes, bro. I don't know. I just posted whatever stupid meme I thought was funny. And there's people that would hit me up, and I would not, like, they'd be like, share my profile. I'd be like, share my profile. And if they didn't have a certain number of profile, like, viewers, I wouldn't share their shit, and vice versa.
Because there wasn't enough value.
I'd
exchange.
save, like, I'd, like, meet people in real life, or, not real life, but I would, like, have them in a contact or something, and I would literally save them as, like Audrey, like, 64K. And I'm like, or like Scooter Cooper, 13.5K. And like I had everybody's following.
That was their social status. Was
Yeah.
how many followers they had. I mean,
It's like that Black Mirror
I was
episode.
like, it's like the Black Mirror episode, yeah.
Or the social score.
I stopped that though.
Yeah,
That's
but
good. I'm glad you don't judge people based on their following, Alex.
I still have Scooter like 13.4K.
I'm like, maybe that's why Alex hangs out with me.
he's trying to grow his
Dakota.
numbers.
1.2K.
It's actually 1.7 now, but
Now
he's
you know.
counting, right?
Now you know why you only get calls every other week instead of every other day.
Whoa, I'm Alex at like.
Savage. If he had more followers, maybe Scooter would call it more.
I only got like
That's fair.
600.
That's fair. But it is sixes.
That's cold, Alex.
Hey, I'm not like that anymore, bro. That was 7th grade Alex, bro. I had to maintain the
Middle school
social
savage over here.
Yeah.
Oh,
God
Bro, I
damn.
remember I knocked it off one day because this girl, like, I posted some meme or something, right? I remember I go to school the next day and this girl was like, "Don't be that guy," and she like walked off, bro. And I was just like,
Did you should have internalized that and been like, yeah, I should not be that guy.
I did, bro. I never posted another meme. That account went down, dude.
Wait, that's all it took?
Yeah.
So
Doesn't
all
sound
Alex
great,
had
bro.
to do, if he was smart, was change the meme account to his personal account, and
Yeah.
then he'd have more
13,000
followers. Than
followers.
Dude,
Yeah,
I was
delete
like-
all the people
I
and
was like,
start change
"Fuck
profile picture,
Instagram.
change the
I
name.
don't
Now you
need
got
any of
13,000.
you. I don't need any of this social media, dude.
That's true. He's got more followers than both of us combined,
Yeah,
actually.
dude,
So
and-
we should just probably shut our mouths.
You know, I have 9.
Yeah, he's got
million.
superiority over us.
Should see
No, I
my
think
Twitch.
there'll be a change. I think you're already seeing it in society of people not viewing that as like this royal status per
Sure.
se. I think 5 years ago, if someone had 1 million followers and they were at an event, it was like, oh, they have 1 million followers, or like, you know, they're getting free passes or whatever that may be. But I think now it's slowly changing. I think the
Yeah.
numbers aren't as impressive. I think there's a lot of bots. There's a lot of like false narrative with all of that.
The bots and the artificial followers is definitely inflating the numbers.
Yeah, and I think people are just kind of getting over the social status. I don't know. It's kind of becoming like a negative thing to some degree. It's like
influencers in public. You see that page? It's
Yeah.
like behind the scenes of influencers doing cringy TikTok dance.
Oh,
And it's like,
so
yeah, it's like
funny, dude.
disparaging to them.
But then there's some people that I have like really, really enjoyed on social media that have stayed really true and core to like them and
Yeah.
who like and their message and like where I like really vibe with that. But it seems to be a common thing where there's always a tipping point.
There's always
It seems
something.
like they always get to a certain point where they just
So
every
Yeah.
social media person I feel like I've ever watched has hit that, dude. There's a few that I'm still on that have stayed. That has been like 10 plus years, but
yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know where it's gonna go. I don't know where social media is gonna go. Streaming's gonna go. There's a lot of like mystery in that realm.
I think it's gonna go more towards advertisement, almost in a sense, like where they already
Yeah.
are at now. I think
kind
it's
of
just
back,
gonna
back to square one.
I don't
basically.
know.
Yeah.
Like nothing pisses me off more than when you're watching. I don't know if it's on Netflix now. It is on Netflix now with ads. There's ads, right?
Really?
I
Is
don't
it?
even think I have.
I don't really use Netflix as much lately, but
Or
I do
Hulu
think
or
that they like
Prime.
introduced like the basic plan. Like you can get a cheaper than normal plan. If you
All
do
I'm
ads, something
saying
like that.
is
But yeah, we're back to square one.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
left those networks to get away from the commercial to get content right away, like bop 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 bop, episode kind of thing. Now we're back to
Skip
ads
commercial.
in the
back to
middle of
square
it and
one.
everything. I'm like, come on.
Wait 6 seconds to skip ad. Yeah, and you're
Yeah.
like,
Or I remember seeing like this meme where it's like a guy with like he grabs a pineapple and like puts it on his head, and it's like everyone, social media, whatever, and everyone like starts doing it, and then there's like this big yellow stick figure, and he walks up and puts it on, and it says brands.
mm.
And they just like pick up on the trend, right? And then everyone else like drops it and leaves it alone and like leaves the room. And it's like that's kind of how it can be sometimes. Like yeah, sometimes we'll leave these like systems or cable or like people didn't want Facebook as much anymore because they started doing ads. So now
I
we'll go to
hate
Instagram back
Facebook,
before
dude.
Facebook fucking bought it.
Facebook
Like,
has so
you know what I
much
mean? There's
ads
kind
on
of
Instagram too now.
Nowadays, there's a lot of ads on Instagram, and so yeah, it's like eventually these brands just come back up and pick up the thing that we were having fun
Yeah,
with. And so
half
now,
of my Facebook, dude, is literally you scroll through the Facebook and it's like not even
Sponsored.
things I've liked.
Targeted.
Yeah, it's like
Targeted.
suggested for you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to see these things.
I will say my scrolling and my like want to go on social media has decreased dramatically because my feed is so filtered with things that is sponsored towards me and like added towards me when I don't want it, and
Yeah,
maybe
it feels
there's a
creepy
setting
in a
that
way.
you can like turn off. I don't know. I
I've
should look
tried,
into it.
bro. I can't find it. I
Every
want
time
to
I
see
do
your
it-
post. I want to see what you post.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like I never see what my friends actually post because it's so just flooded with other.
Yeah, and I feel like every time I clear my advertising preferences, they just come back in like 2 months. Every time you go in there and change it, it just changes itself back.
Yep.
Yeah, on like the new updates, it probably just like refreshes it or
Yep.
something.
Yep.
Yeah, that's frustrating, and I think a lot of people are feeling like we are, and I would assume there's going to be some pretty dramatic change, and
Yeah.
I am here for it. I'm excited to see like what kind of happens.
Everyone's
Mhm.
fatigued with this current model. It's not interesting anymore. We're all bored of what we've got here.
Yeah, and
It's like
I think just content got too fast, too quick. The consumption of it got too fast, too quick.
It's like what's that saying? too much of anything is bad for you.
Bad thing.
Yeah, I was thinking that at the movies. Just I went and saw Kung Fu Panda 4.
Mhm.
Good movie, love it.
Mhm.
I was thinking about it in the theater when I was a kid. There's so many previews on it. I'm like, I've never even heard of this movie. But like when I was a kid, that's where I heard for the next movie I'm gonna go see next month.
You
was
would go to
sitting
the
there.
movies early to watch the previews.
To watch the movies,
Yeah.
that was the
to
point.
see everything coming out in the next month or two.
And like that's all I knew. And like so like that was the talk between me and my friends. I had like 2 movie choices coming out in the next like 6 months. Like what ones are you guys gonna go see? Now it's like you'll come up to me and you'll be like, you seen this, this, and this? I'm like, no. And
Bro, what
he's
about
like,
this
"You
TV
seen
show? What about
and
this?" Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, bro, I'm still way over
Bro, you
here.
didn't watch the Oscars? You didn't watch this documentary we talked about? You didn't watch Quiet on Set? You didn't watch Fallout? You didn't watch, like...
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, I'm on like season 6 right now of Jane the Virgin with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like we're on a soap opera right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're
You're
doing.
in the soap opera life, bro?
Dude, it's
Doing it.
oh, dude, I memorized the word just for her, but I forgot it. It's
Telenovela.
telenovela.
The fact that you know that
Yeah,
brings
I was
up
like-
questions.
I
He
got
speaks
answers.
Spanish, dude.
You do?
Did I tell you about the time I almost gave Alex a stroke?
Dude, I felt sick. Bro.
So, do you remember the student project I've been helping out on? You let me borrow your gimbal for? So, Alex came as a second AC on one of the days, and it was an extra day that we were having like a party scene. So, we had tons of extras. So, my girlfriend came. My girlfriend is Mexican, and I speak Spanish. And so, we just started talking to each other in Spanish. I hadn't seen her all day, whatever. And the look on Alex's face.
No, because they
He
started
literally
in
looks
English.
like someone like flipped his. Yeah, I was like, "Hey, how you doing, baby? ¿Cómo estás?" Like whatever. Like I literally just like threw it right into Spanish. That's how we normally do. We speak pretty good Spanglish around the house. And so yeah, he was just like looking back and forth between us. He's like, "Am I?"
I was
Did
so,
you guys just speak
I was
Spanish?
like,
dude.
like my brain was sparking, dude. I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
That's
I was like,
amazing.
I thought I saw a little bit of smoke coming out of his ears. It was
Well,
no,
yeah,
it was-
because he can't even speak Spanish.
Yeah, I'm Mexican.
yeah.
That's amazing,
That was
dude.
really
you just
funny,
out
dude.
Mexicaned Alex.
Yeah, bro.
Dude, it
I out
happens a
Mexican.
lot, bro.
I out pizzaed the hut. I out tacoed the bell.
That's amazing.
I didn't. I go with my German side, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'll drink you. in high
I'll
school.
out drink.
You'll outdrink me. Yeah, dude. You know what's a type of videography I've always admired and wanted to get more into. On the flip side, wondered how it's ever been like profitable for people. How the hell do you make money doing travel videos, like travel vlogs? And people are like, oh, I'm like a traveler.
I can tell you.
videographer."
Yeah,
How
Scoot's
do
gonna
they
blow
do
your
that?
mind with that.
I can
bullshit,
tell you.
bro.
Have you met my brother-in-law?
Mhm.
I've met your brother-in-law, but I definitely haven't like had
So
as much of a conversation
that
as
was
I wanted to.
his niche. Like that was his
Yeah.
thing. So when YouTube first started, he was like with Tyler Oakley and all the
Mhm.
OGs doing. Which is Tyler Oakley doing the new Ellen show or something?
I don't know. I haven't heard from him in a long time.
I haven't. I thought there was something going on with that for a minute, but whatever. But he started out doing challenge videos,
Mhm.
and then as like the travel,
Like era kind of came about.
yeah, and like destination type pieces, and the whole like, look at us travel around the world and show you like the experiences that are out there kind of thing. Blew up. He was like right at the face of that, and
Mhm.
my sister and him would go all over the world. MasterCard hired them to do a brand deal where they flew them out. I'm not going to speak too much on like the details, but
Sure.
to explain to you like the
Yeah.
money in it, just like brand deals for like a lot of influencers now. Back then, a lot of hotel destinations,
Mhm.
Delta,
Mm.
Travel Master, like all those places would hire influencers to show how you could get to these
So
destinations.
just to generate social content?
That was right at the peak. For
Yeah,
social content.
that's
That was
crazy.
right at the peak of, you had your 10, 20 main YouTubers,
Yeah.
and they were getting 1 million to 5 million views a
Pop,
post.
Yeah.
And so the way these companies would look at it is $2 million for a Super Bowl ad
Mhm.
to get 3 million people to watch it, or this influencer we could pay a large sum of money to, not as much as the Super Bowl, and still get as many views.
Yeah. Okay.
Or
So you
more.
could see after maybe
You stack those up. a couple
2
times,
brand
yeah.
deals, you're good for the year or
Okay.
longer.
Okay, that's adding up. Because like the only experience I had to is like my sister is pretty early in the Instagram game, and my brother fairly was too. So like they definitely had some brand deals with like Royal Caribbean, and like they flew them out, put them on a boat,
Cruise
had them shoot-
places,
yeah,
yep.
cruises, like so stuff like that is where I was like kind of like travel companies, like that made sense to me. But now I'm really picking up what you're putting down. Okay, interesting. Well, yeah, either way,
And
that's
that
still
whole,
a vein
like,
of
that whole thing got so
becoming oversaturated.
polluted,
Yeah,
oversaturated. It was like, and I even tried to do it for a while. I was like,
Yeah.
look at me,
I mean, because
travel.
it's a sick
Yippee!
idea,
Yeah.
dude. Like, if that works for you, like that's an
It's
awesome
sick
life.
until too many people do it, and
Yeah.
there becomes this cookie cutter. I'm
Yeah.
gonna just say it like that: Jay Alvarez cookie cutter,
Mm.
surfer, like
Mhm.
Bali type look.
Specific lifestyle associated with
Yeah,
it.
Got
and
the
it's-
glasses, the short short, the board shorts.
Well, and then
yeah.
it became very much where it was like only the people that could do that were like and like try to grow off of that were like people who were living off of mom and dad at a younger
Yeah.
age. You know, like
Fair.
no one who works full time can travel full time.
Right.
And no one with a following can't travel full time because no brand deals are paying them to travel because there's no following. So
Right.
there's a weird bridge that these guys are funding themselves to travel to try to
To
gain
get
the
big enough
following
to
to
get
get big
travel,
enough to
yeah.
get travel budgets.
Yeah, that makes
And that's
sense.
kind of the triangle I was trapped in, to be honest. It was like my following wasn't big enough, but like my whole Bali, Indonesia trip for a month was paid for because I lined up 3 brands that wanted tropical style content that I went out there and took content for their brand in there. So it's like all how you look at it, right? One brand wasn't just paying me to go out there.
Right, right.
So, I don't know.
Kind of
It's
double or triple dip even.
it's I don't know. I like that to me. You were just chasing your tail a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's interesting to see where a lot of those channels and people are now. Like it's cool to see that my brother-in-law was able to pivot and like adapt, and
Yeah.
like I will
Oh,
arguably
yeah.
say that Sawyer. I'm talking about Sawyer Hartman. I would arguably say that his channel is one of the longest going, being from the start of YouTube till still now, actively on YouTube, doing brand deals and
He's a
getting
hustler,
views.
dude.
Oh yeah.
Like
dude.
I would say he's one of the longest. I mean, there is beast and people that started out like OG, but that are still going. Juice Squad's one of them.
Yeah, Juke's been around
Yeah, dude.
forever.
Yeah,
man.
they've been posting since
He was a
2012.
kid, yeah.
Like that's right when. I mean, if everyone remembers Justin Bieber, his first song that ever came out when it hit 1 million views, I think it was like 2010, 11ish. That's when YouTube like. That's
It's the real start of the internet era.
Yeah.
I think internet was like a tool for us back then, but I think when we saw that, it was like, oh, like
We can
this isn't just
enjoy it.
chat rooms. Like this
Yeah.
is like, you know, it kind of like evolved into something more serious.
It wasn't entertainment at that point. It was like you said. It was
Oh,
just a
dude,
tool.
MySpace was entertaining.
MySpace
though.
definitely was there. That's
There
fair.
was a whole like world of that right before like the upload
like
a
thing
subreddit.
Yeah.
came.
Or like the internet boom, I guess we could say, because the internet was around, but like it freaking blew up right around the 2010s. And also, like, my brother talks a lot about this on his podcast, God Mode. But like the smartphone and the social media and like the real, basically a huge shift happened in our culture when the internet got into your pocket. You know, like
Yeah.
the internet used to be a place that you would go to in your home, a corner in your home.
Your
A
office.
system was connected to the internet, and you'd go to that internet, and then you were done.
So
and you would
that's what
log off.
we're actually doing that with our daughter. So we're
Yeah.
not doing any electronics and
Yeah.
and like we're gonna buy her. So I still luckily have all of my DVDs of
Oh,
like
cool,
childhood.
cool physical
kids,
media, dude. It
and
matters.
we're gonna buy her like a DVD player, like a laptop
Yeah.
style old school one, and that's like her gonna. That's gonna be her form of entertainment.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
come
Or
to
go
us,
outside.
Yeah, dude.
pick out a movie, watch your movie. But like other than that, like we're playing every day. We're like
Yeah.
we're not. I get it. Every parent's different.
Mhm.
Do your thing, but we're not going to do the whole like here's something in your face to like try to entertain
Distract
you.
you.
Here's our iPad. Yeah.
I remember, dude, every day my dad, like when we'd go out, my dad took me everywhere. But when we go out somewhere eating and he'd be in a business meeting or something, I would like even take the straws and I would crunch up the paper really tight. And then, no, just so that it was all crunched up at the bottom. And then you'd put it on the table and then you'd get water. And I'd make the snakes grow, and I would do that for hours. Just like I'd have like 50 things there, 50 straws. They loved it. But no, it just makes you think. Like as a kid, there's ways to entertain yourself. I saw a meme of a kid watching raindrops on the in the car.
Yeah, and they're racing.
And it was racing, and it was like back to the day where I would place bets in my head of which raindrop would win.
This one.
Right.
And like kids don't.
Or like I'd always hold my like little running finger outside the window and like do parkour over the buildings and stuff.
You
Like,
get a little stick,
yeah,
a
yeah.
popsicle stick after something, and you're surfing in the wind.
Yeah, oh yeah, surfing too. Yeah,
Or, like,
or just run. Yeah,
parkouring,
just parkour.
with
Yeah,
things,
dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, like there's little ways to use imagination, but that's like not really encouraged these days. Because yeah, when the internet,
It's not encouraged.
yeah,
that's
when
a
the
good
internet stays with you 24/7, and like, oh, you're bored, you're a little bored. Here's the solution. Here's the phone. Here's the thing. Like,
It's so
Like,
easy to do that. I
yeah.
give my parents so much props for, especially me. It's like being able to keep giving me different ideas and things to go and do that weren't sitting down in front of a TV.
You know what's probably gonna die? Is things like fishing. And that,
physical hobbies.
well, no, I
Yeah.
say that because even our generation, I would argue, has a hard time fishing because it's nothing. You're sitting there,
that,
right?
yeah.
It's a lot of just time sitting there. Where I'm actually really nervous for like this next generation coming up. Like the last thing they're gonna want to do is be on a lake with no service
Yeah.
for hours, like almost doing nothing.
They're gonna freak out if the second their phone says SOS.
You know what
I
I'm
mean?
saying? It's
Yeah.
like,
We disconnect for peace, but like to them, that's panic.
well,
Yeah,
and it's
like,
some people like do those experiments where they're like in a quiet room for 5 hours and like they like freak out.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
oh yeah, dude.
And it's
oh, yeah.
like we're so stimulated nowadays where people need that, where it's hard for people to just like sit. And
I mean, did you see that video where Mr. Beast put himself in solitary confinement for 7 days?
Yeah,
no, did
Dude,
he like
you need to watch
Did he
that.
lose it?
that was pretty good.
Pretty much, dude. Things are getting pretty psycho towards the end. You need to watch that video. Yeah.
I
Like
mean,
the
you
stimulation
just
and the
lose
lack of stimulation,
everything.
dude. Oh yeah.
Lack
No.
of time, like that's the
Yeah. When you don't understand your time, and you're just like,
Well, yeah,
you're-
that's when you don't know if it's been a minute or an hour.
yeah, and then
Or a day.
stuff gets sloppy. So
It's sloppy.
sloppy.
Ooh, that kind of freaks me out. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I know the thought of that. I was like, ugh, I don't know.
That's how dogs think, though.
7 times faster.
Well, no, they just don't know.
Oh yeah.
They have
that's
no
fair.
concept of time.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah, dude. There's a bunch of videos of the dogs during the solar eclipse, and like all these pounds and stuff, where like it's daytime and then nighttime, and all these dogs just like lay down where they are and go to sleep, and then it's like daytime, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I bet the eclipse would definitely confuse
A
dogs.
bunch of zoo videos are really fun to watch too.
Oh,
of,
yeah.
like the bears and stuff. They're just like go back into their cave that they just came back
like,
out. from,
wait.
and they come right back out, and they're like,
You just
Like
watched
hibernation? I
Yeah,
don't-
you just watched the solar eclipse. Where'd you go?
Texas.
Talk
Texas
about
was
that.
fun. Texas was a lot of fun. We went and saw the solar eclipse. Like we said, there's no service.
Did you
so-
film it?
I did.
You know what's the best thing about that? Let's see the video.
Right, bro.
Not on your phone. Did you film it? Like
Dude,
film it.
I did, but I'm still learning Dakota's camera, and I did something wrong with it during the thing. I was trying to do.
Oh, so you brought a camera and everything.
Yeah.
You attempted.
I tried. I got some good pictures, but I didn't want to ruin his camera because I haven't even purchased it from him yet. It's on loan basically, and like a bunch. There's like so many people with cameras there, and all of them had these special
filter.
filters and all this fancy shit, and I was like, oh.
They just had an ND filter.
Yeah.
I was like,
The
well,
only
they
thing
were
you
like,
needed
"You're
to
gonna
worry
fry your
about,
lens."
no, the only thing you needed to worry about is looking through a magnification, like a
Or
telescope.
lasers.
Yeah, or lasers. But I'm just saying, I don't even think you can point a camera shutter right at the sun.
Yeah.
Like it's
They
totally
lied to
fine.
me, man. Like there was so many people that were just like had all these like fancy attachments and shit.
They probably had ND
Yeah.
filters, so their f-stop and all that, and their shutter didn't have to be super as high. It probably
Mine
still
was
did,
super high, bro. I had to
Yeah.
run it really high.
Yeah,
yeah.
your shutter had to probably be all the way up. Your f-stop probably had to be all the way
I
up.
was at, like,
Your
a 9
ISO had to
or
be all the way
10.
down, and you probably needed ND.
Yeah.
I mean, you're shooting at the sun.
Yeah.
So I got
an extra ND, so
some
let me
good
know next time.
ones that were pretty cool looking, but not really what I wanted to get.
Yeah.
But I also didn't go into that trip like with that being like my goal
Sure.
of it or anything. I more just was like, if I can set this camera up and it'll do like take a video, that'd be cool. And then I'm gonna enjoy it with my pop sort of thing, which
Yeah.
is really cool.
How long was the drive?
Down took 3 days. 3 days straight. Like I was like 8 or 9 hours of driving a day.
Brutal.
Down.
I love you to death. I would never drive that long.
I don't know why he did it. I'm like
You did.
I've done that drive before. It's
I
brutal,
did. I don't know
dude.
why I did, but he was leading the charge.
Hey, I'd say though, if my pop's like, dude, hands down. If my
Yeah.
pop said, "Hey, let's go do something," I don't give a shit what it is.
Yeah.
Like, gotta do it.
Yeah, he's getting old,
though.
so I'm definitely trying to make sure he does whatever he wants to do. But it's also at the same point where it's like he's got to pee every like 45 minutes, dude. I'm passing like whole rows of big rigs, bro, and then like I'm like I finally got some room. Pull over, please. I gotta
They
pee.
pass you all over again.
I'm like, no.
So
Yeah, and then
you
they
get a
pass.
little head and then back, and a little head and then back.
And eventually, I'm just like, fuck it. I'm not even gonna go around him. And then he's like, go around these guys, Alex. Come on. I'm like, I've passed this Swift truck 15 times today, Dad. Like, we've gained no ground. We've gone nowhere.
Yeah.
Like,
That's awesome.
but that was a lot of fun.
Coolest thing you saw besides the eclipse?
Dude, I saw a dog driving a motorcycle.
Driving.
Like legit.
Like the
Like
guy.
operate
Like legit operating a motorcycle. Okay.
Okay.
I wasn't fucked up. I wasn't drunk.
So
I
what were you
wasn't-
on?
I was nothing. This is New Mexico. Right?
Okay.
Not Albuquerque, Roswell, where the aliens are, right?
Okay, so it was
Did you go see any
The alien
alien
sky.
stuff?
I did. My dad loves alien stuff, so we've been down to Roswell a few times.
go to the UFO McDonald's.
No, I went to a Dunkin' Donuts
Nice.
that's held up by a UFO guy. Which,
Cool.
if you're from Utah, we don't have those anymore. So that was like a big deal. So I went there every morning I could. There's a couple UFO museums and stuff like that you can go in, but they're kind of cheesy. Like here's a model UFO we made, and it's just like
Bunch of clay models.
bunch of stuff like that. But it's still really fun if you're doing it for the first time, sort of thing. But the dog riding the motorcycle was just downtown Roswell, and the dude was sitting like kind of on the back seat of his bike, and he had a full-size dog standing in front of him in his lap, just standing there, and the dog
my
had
God.
his hands up on the little handlebars. Like, I don't know if he made
Little paw
like
bars.
paw bars or something for it to stand on, but the dude was just standing and just going.
Dude.
And I was like, wow. Well, that's New Mexico for you. But overall, good trip. Not doing it again driving.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, I would never drive that far. Put me
I'm
on a
still
plane.
trying. Yeah.
Please.
Well, if you guys are videographers, if you guys have found fun ways to make money and things that you found interesting in your journey of content creation, please comment, share. Let us know. Like, share the good news. Let people know how to make money in this industry. I don't think everyone's a little uptight with kind of their secret sauce. It's not like fishing. You can give up your water hole. You can tell people the secret sauce, because I don't know. I think we need to look out for each other more in this industry and make sure each other are taken care of. So
You're all gonna die one day, dude. Just might as well give me the info.
why'd you go straight to death?
Give me the info.
wow.
You're gonna die one day. Give me the info, old man.
Louise, man. Dead men tell
On
no
a
tales.
positive note, you're gonna live a long, healthy life, and we love you guys. Thank you for listening, and like, subscribe. What's the other thing?
Comment? I don't know. Like,
Comment, follow.
ring the bell. Ring the bell. For
Oh, the bell,
notifications when we
the
post.
notification
I was
bell.
looking
Yeah.
for the
Notification
back
bell.
up there, dude.
I'm
Like,
sorry. I did
come
not
in
have
and-
that. I let you down. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you guys for the support. We love you.
See you next
Peace.
time.
Bye.
Bye.
We out.